Netflix is going all out Netflix, and that is hilariously stupid, as you can imagine.
Cannot be real. Netflix cannot stop Netflixing. You want to know what I think is the funniest thing about this topic?
Gentlemen?
The funniest thing about this is the fact that this is apparently real, but people are so fatigued from forced DEI that they view an actual historical depiction of something that happened during, I think, World War II as being fake.
Gentlemen?
Is this actually real? Because I haven't seen the trailer. I just know that everyone's laughing about this. Isn't there a old-time movie about this? Because yes, the part that is real is the fact that there was a post office or something like that run by exclusively black women, and they did kind of a good job at it, by the way. But is this about the post office, or is this about how women are the greatest casualties of war type of stuff? Because I'm not actually sure.
Wife and I have been talking about the problems we are having with the mail.
This cannot be real.
The Postal Battalion?
Oh, it is the Postal Battalion. Which is hilarious how Netflix is gonna make it out that they're the biggest sufferers of war. Just like Hillary Clinton said, the biggest casualties of war is the women at home who, lose their children, men, and things like that, because, it's really tough on them and shit. It is what it is, boys.
It's not real. Nobody would make a show about this.
This is our mission. And we will not fail.
Oh my god,
The
it is real.
688.
Oh my God!
Allow me to pose you a question, dear viewer. When you think of the heroes of the Second World War, what do you imagine in your mind? Could it be the first wave of British and American soldiers who went ashore?
I know what people on Twitter would say if you say, imagine the heroes of World War II. I know what they would say. I got a good feeling about what they might say.
A storm of fire and metal on the beaches of Normandy? Maybe the Soviet conscripts, starving and badly equipped, who charged to almost certain death across the frozen, blasted hellscape of Stalingrad? Perhaps the Marines slogging through the steaming jungles and islands of the Pacific against a fanatically determined enemy? Well, if your answer fell into any of those categories, then clearly...
You've got to do better, Senator. You've got to step up.
Because as everyone knows, the truly heroic battle of the Second World War was...
Bro, I did not expect, honestly, this to be a critical drinker video, but here we are, boys. 10 out of 10.
Sorting a backlog of undelivered mail. I can't, man. Like, what are we even doing here? That right there is the subject of Netflix's compelling new show, The 6888, based on the real-life exploits... Wait, is exploits really the word I'm looking for here? The real-life administrative task that was carried out by the American 6,888th Central Postal Directory Battalion during World War II.
So it's real.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it's real. How do I know that this is real? I swear that there was an old movie about this, or a movie that at least mentioned this. Because I knew about this prior to all of this. I can't remember. I think there's an old movie about this, or something that at least mentions it. I have no idea. But dude, since it's Netflix, it's gonna be hilarious. They are literally gonna make this like the most pivotal part of the war, Fuck the Enigma engine. Fuck all of that. Nothing of that matters. This is what matters.
Not making this up.
Yeah.
And I know this totally isn't how unit designations work, but I really love the idea that there's almost 7,000 postal battalions in the US Army. We don't get much fighting done in this here...
7,000 postal battalions? And how much we spent?
Did you not pay attention? He said it's a joke, Asmund. Please, like, it's like basic words.
On this shit every year. Damn, do they have email? I guess they didn't have email back then.
I'm not sure if that's a joke or not, though.
Army, but goddamn, our letters arrive on time every time.
They didn't have cell phones.
The gist of the show, and I'm going to do my best to make this sound as dramatic as possible here, is that by 1944 there was a massive backlog of mail to and from the hundreds of thousands of men fighting on the front lines in Europe.
Obviously,
naturally, this was bad for morale because soldiers like to get news from their families back home, so the army assigned the 6888 Battalion to tackle the problem.
Yeah.
And they did, by working quickly and efficiently to sort and deliver letters.
Good for them.
I mean, that's it, really.
Yep.
Really?
So why exactly were Netflix keen to make a multi-million-dollar TV show about it?
I mean, do you not see the skin color here? I'm pretty sure that's the obvious answer. Right in front of you, in fact.
You mean the White Women's Army Corps? Or is there another?
Well, I think you know why. Isn't it funny when studios are fully aware that their output's grown so ridiculous that it's literally become a meme, and instead of course correcting to prove their detractors wrong, they just say, fuck it.
This is the problem.
Bald women?
What is the movie? Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington, probably him shooting people with guns. Really efficiently also, in a cool way.
Believe a number of other, like, insanely famous, very prolific black actors in the same general type of topic. Which one was it? Glory? Was it Glory? Yes. Yep, Morgan Freeman. Yeah. We already had one of these that came out, and people loved this fucking movie. People thought this movie was great. 7.5, a 95, a 78.
Going all in, boys. Like,
Yeah.
I can totally get behind the idea of telling lesser-known stories or promoting the unsung heroes of World War II, especially ones from more diverse backgrounds that you don't tend to hear much.
You're right,
No.
but it's not women. That's a
Ah.
fact.
About, and there's a plethora of stuff
Yeah.
to choose from if you care to look for it. Like Virginia Hall, a distinguished OSS field agent who worked in occupied Europe, created an entire spy network by herself, helped to arm French commandos, and was the only female civilian to receive the distinguished
French? I'm sorry. Yeah, that's... no.
Service Cross. Or the Tuskegee Airmen, an all-black fighter unit who flew bomber escort missions over Europe and were credited with destroying or damaging over 400 enemy aircraft. Or Ludmila Pavlichenko, a Russian sniper known as Lady Death by her enemies, who was the most successful female sniper of the war with over 300 confirmed kills.
Well, I thought
Dude, we forget about her a lot, because that's, like, you know, that's the... well, it's not the equivalent because the White Death is, well, more impressive considering the guy was a literal fucking farmer, okay, who took out Soviet counter-sniper teams. That was a bit more impressive. This, pretty good.
that was on 4chan.
Or Vernon Baker, an African-American soldier who personally took out 3 German machine gun nests, a command post, and a dugout after his platoon was pinned down by superior German forces and was eventually awarded the Medal of Honor.
Damn, superior German forces, that's a choice.
Wow.
Or the Night Witches, an all-female bomber regiment who took to the air in rickety old biplanes that were so overloaded the pilots couldn't even carry parachutes, who flew in pitch darkness and attacked German positions all along the Eastern Front. I could go on and on for hours listing people and groups who fought and often died for their countries in World War II and deserve...
I mean, this is true, by the way. Again, this shit lasted for, you know, a pretty substantial period of time, and it involved a lot of people. So there's a shit ton of actual real stories that you can tell. But hey, Netflix got a Netflix.
A lot more recognition.
Man, I bet this would have sucked. Man, can you imagine that? That would suck so much.
Is this D-Day? I have no idea if this is supposed to be that or something like that.
Dick. Oh my god.
But every time you see something like this, it's pretty much supposed to be D-Day.
You think? Yeah, I do. This has been the worst fucking day of my life. It's a bad day, yeah.
they got, whose stories would lend themselves
Because like
pretty
you
easily-
think about like after you get done killing them all, you're still wet, and you gotta go to bed that night, and you're still wet. Like, and there's sand everywhere. Oh my god.
No. That's stupid. Okay. By the way, dude, these watch stories are so crazy. There are also people who actually contribute good things to Russia, which is insane. Russians were the biggest cannon fodder thing in the whole world, by the way. You know how the typical Russian attack on something happened? It goes like this. Some guy high up says, we invade that away, and now everyone has to go that away. And the idea is like pretty much like this. You go that away, and you get shot and achieve nothing. But that doesn't really matter because Russia. Now, you have the choice now. Do you go that way and get shot, or do you go back and get shot by your own people because there's no such thing as a retreat? By the way, this is actually all accurate historically. Or the best part was when the Russians were fighting in marches, when you couldn't even go forward, and you were like, okay, now I'm just gonna lay here in the march and slowly die of exposure because it's the winter. 10 out of 10. Ah, good times, good times.
to a movie or TV show.
And yeah,
you're
that's if
telling
you're
me-
And by the way, if you're looking what Russia is doing currently now, not a lot has changed. 10 out of 10.
dead.
This is the best you could come up with? Fucking postal workers? I
Yeah.
mean, no disrespect whatsoever to the real life women who actually did this work. I'm sure it was long and tedious and demanding by today's standards, but describing their story as heroic is a bit of a stretch, don't you think? It's not like they were fighting on the front lines and risking life and limb to deliver vital communications that would turn the tide of battle or anything.
Nope.
They were
They were risking more.
sorting mail in an admin building in England, and they didn't even get there until February 1945 when the war was practically over. Sorry ladies, but paper cuts and cold coffee isn't quite the same level of danger as storming an enemy bunker or facing
It's worse. I mean, cold coffee sucks a lot.
down a German Tiger tank.
That's true.
Tell me, what else have you got in store for us, Netflix? The inspirational story of Bob from accounts and his attempts to file his backlog of TPS reports before the end of the tax year? Brenda's heroic last-minute push to have that PowerPoint presentation ready in time for the big corporate seminar?
Now, to be fair, it's obviously Brenda because she's a woman, and she's gonna be a black woman. Because, obviously. And her name is gonna be Shaquisha.
Oh, jeez.
Larry refusing to let a
Oh,
shortage of
jeez.
printer ink stop him from displaying warnings about leaving unwashed dishes in the break room? Fuck you, Larry, I do what I want. Like I
Man.
said, I'm all for recognizing the lesser known contributions made during the war.
Holy shit, look at this scene right here. Man, they got a clean. Oh no, it's the modern. No, this is the equivalent of a modern Holocaust. We got a clean shit. That's the women don't clean. That's a stereotype. Like, this is so evil. Look at this. They gotta lift things with their hands. Holy.
Lesser known contributions made during the war, but I don't think this is the way to go about it. Trying to frame every single person who performed even the most basic admin tasks in the safest environment possible as a hero isn't just a disingenuous attempt to pretend that chosen demographic group number
Damn,
two
I saw everybody put their arm up like that. I said, wait a minute, what side are they on? I was confused for like half a second. I said, what the fuck?
Asmongold never change.
contributed just as much as everyone else, but it's pretty fucking disrespectful to the actual heroes who fought and died for their countries. Those two things are not the same.
Bro, the juxtaposition here is great because because this looks like the same movie, right? So you got these women like, I'm gonna extend my arm that away, and extending your arm this high is already grounds to put you in jail in Britain nowadays. 10 out of 10, by the way, system. And they're like, we need to learn to space properly when we're doing stuff. And then the juxtaposition is, look at this.
Heroes who fought and died for their
But their job was more important, you see.
countries. Those two things are not the same, so stop trying
That's
to
right.
pretend that they are. And honestly, it's
Also, I'm gonna be completely real. This is World War II, okay? There is absolutely nothing an appropriate amount of ketamine cannot fix that a letter from a loved one cannot. And the ketamine's gonna be cheaper and better and technically easier to provide, okay? Hey, it's World War II, baby. Everyone was cracked up on something.
tough to think of a better example of modern Hollywood entitlement and hubris, not to mention the complete lack of hardship and adversity faced by writers today, that this is what they consider a heroic and inspirational story. And as tempted as I am to watch it just for the unintentional lols, I think I'm gonna have to give the 6888 a dishonorable discharge. At ease, soldiers, because that's all I've got for today.
Damn.
Go away now.
I feel like this one's not so bad. I feel like
To be honest, yeah, it could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse.
really it's I don't really even think this is this big of a deal. I think that this is actually not a big thing. It's not really a bad thing. I think the problem is that
Yeah, it's not a big thing. Let's just let them do this. So let's be happy about this, and let's just let them do the next thing and the next thing, and let's allow them to do bigger things. Because if this is not a big thing, then nothing is a big thing. You know, let's just allow them to incrementally destroy the social fabric of our world, and effectively just bring back Satan. Because why not? It's not a big thing. Come on, it's not a big thing. Shut the fuck up.
it exists inside of a culture that is now so on edge and on guard for stuff like this that even an authentic recreation of something that actually happened is seen as inauthentic.
This is not gonna be authentic in the slightest. This is gonna be the most exaggerated thing you have ever seen in your life, probably. Okay? They're gonna probably do a scene where it's like, it's the first day, they have made the mailroom, and it's go time, and then like a duffel bag of mail gets dropped, and it's like, oh, we gotta sort this now, and it's gonna be a battle. This is not gonna be, kill me now.
And I think this is really kind of I'll link y'all the video here. I think this is really a great example of what I was talking about and what I've been talking about for a long time, about how
OnlyFans girls and sending them money is okay?
when you start trying to put forward a narrative and shit for so long, people start seeing it when it's not even really there. Because I saw people discourse about this, and half the people that were talking about it thought it was fake.
There's a name for that, by the way.
And I feel like, what really...
There's also a name and concept that most people even recognize: overprotectiveness. For this.
What are we really doing here? What are we accomplishing
What are we doing?
That's the way I see it, right? It's a side story no one's thought about. That's kind of cool. I don't think there's anything wrong with the movie, right? I don't. Like, and that's what I was saying, like, with Glory, right, or any of these other movies, like, the whole idea of, like, a minority regiment inside of a war, this is not the first time it's come out, and I feel like, again, it's cultural fatigue, because I think that...
Okay, Netflix, you know what you need to do, obviously. You need to make a movie about the Jewish Nazi brigades. Now that's gonna now that people really don't expect, because if you did not know, the Nazis did have actually regiments that were fully made out of Jews who were doing it out of free will. Yeah, well, that's gonna be a fun one to explore. Netflix, please go ahead. Go ahead.
If this movie had come out in the year 1996,
it would have been fine.
I feel like we probably all would have watched it as...
Wow! If things were different, things would be different. Asmongold, please, you're breaking my heart with these deep takes.
kids.
If things would be
That's the
different.
reality. Probably all would have watched it. It would have been fine. But I think that there's a degree of just fatigue that's happened, and I think that this movie is an unfortunate receptor. And in school, yeah, we probably would have watched it. No, think about it, right? We probably would have had to watch a movie like this if this had come out in, like, let's say 1998, and or whenever.
School making children watch movies is just the cheapest shit ever, by the way. This is why American society is collapsing. 10 out of 10. Anyway, that was Asmonbold. 10 out of 10. Bye.